Hi there. Hello. How are you doing? It's Friday, so I'm doing another in my sample series. This week, I'm doing ReCore for the Xbox One, playing it on an Xbox One X. This is going to be labeled HDR sample because unfortunately ReCore is not actually in 4K. Looking at Wikipedia, it appears to be outputting at 1440p. It will appear on YouTube eventually as a 4K video, but it won't actually be in 4K, so bear that in mind. But I want to play this game again and do it on a little recording, capturing here, just to show off what this game can actually look like. This is a much derided game when it came out, but I enjoyed it. Sort of like a 3D platformer shooter game where you collect stuff. And mainly different cores for different robots. Hence the title, ReCore. Now, I noticed that with the Snake Pass video I did, it did not actually become available in 4K and HDR until Sunday, even though I uploaded on Friday and it finished, I'm using quotations, uploading that day. Apparently it was still processing, and it took about 24 hours after that point, maybe a little more, before it became available in 4K and HDR. So if this video pops up and it's only showing us 1080p, give it about a day or so, and it should be in 4K HDR Sunday probably. So why don't I stop wasting time and get into it. Now I do have a completed save in this game. You take a look at the options here, make sure everything's in good shape. Alright. The subtitles are enabled. Let's take a look at the controls here. Even though this is basically a platformer, 3D platform, it's also a shooter, so it does have the whole left trigger, right trigger thing. Let's see here, alright. I can start a new game without erasing the last one. Good, I was a little concerned about that, so let's go ahead and start. Now, this is a game that was made by Inafune, or helped made by him, the creator of Mega Man. And yeah, this game was not particularly well received by critics when it came out. I know Giant Bomb gave it 2 stars out of 5, which seemed harsh. They lamented the fact that this game has is not good at telling you what you really need to do in order to advance. You basically need to collect these things called prisms in order to get to in order to unlock further access to the last stage. And if you don't know that, you're just going to be sort of running up against a brick wall. But thankfully I did know that, and therefore I set about making sure to collect as many of those as I could. And therefore I didn't actually have that problem. I think this is just a neat little game.
Far Eden. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
Go on, Mac. It's over there.
But if anyone can set things right, Jewel, I knew it would be you.
Okay, we're looking for a power source. It's the only way we're going to get our crawler back online. Do you have the scent, Mac? Then let's track it down.
We can double jump here. We're following this robot dog that we have.
Yep, my exoframe is working fine. Thrusters are recharging just like they should.
One of those things.
There. An opening at the top of the cliff. That's our way in. Scavenger core bites.
Pull out our gun with left trigger and shoot things with right trigger.
Why are you attacking us?
Alright. And the dog will also attack things.
Old core bot frames. Looks like the scavenger bots have picked them clean.
Now, I think this game just has a neat look to it. It's surprisingly colorful for a game that takes place in the desert. Alright, so we're trying to get up there. Yes, dog.
All right, let's make our way to the top. Lead the way, Mac. Right behind you.
Now what I'll do is I'll play a bit of the intro part of this game, and then later in the video I'll switch over to my later saves, so you can see some of the...
looked at images of Far Eden and saw nothing but rocks and sand. But some of us saw a future paradise.
Alright. What I'll do is I'll play through the beginning parts of this game, and at some point I'll switch to my save, which is after
Careful,
beating
boy.
the game,
It's a long way down.
and to show you some of the late stuff you get unlocked. Some late stage stuff that you unlock. Show you what you can really do in this game.
Huh. Looks like this door is missing its power cell bot. The little guy must be around here somewhere.
Power cell bot, that's what we're looking for. Alright. Shoot as many of these things as we can.
There you are. Let's get you back to your socket.
Alright.
Here you go. Mac, listen. You hear that? Come on, this way. Mac, get back here. Mac! I'm coming, Mac!
It's stealing my dog. That's not a nice thing to do. How do I get over there?
A security lattice? What's going on around here?
It's been a while since I played this game, let alone the intro. And hold B to dash. There we go. We hit B to do
Mac
an
should be
air
on the other
dash.
side of this door. There we go.
Okay.
Mac. I got you, buddy. Try and be more careful. We're not gonna find many friendly bots in here. Mac, dig in. Spider frames. I think we woke up a whole hive.
Alright. These things shoot. Got a red core here. I think we use those to power up our various different robots.
Mac, get down! Didn't know he could do that.
Alright. Command Corebots use powerful lethal abilities. Press Y while targeting to use... Okay.
Do it! That away, Mac. Go get him, Mac.
And these different colored enemies, even though they appear to be otherwise identical, that does come into play later as you actually get different colored shots that correspond to these different colored enemies. And we'll see if I'm actually able to access any of that in this early stuff. Probably not, but that's okay. I'll show you that. My later save. Combat is not especially difficult. It's certainly not in the beginning parts, but later
Did you see their
the enemies
frames,
get
Mac?
tougher.
They were all corroded. I don't like it either, but we need to keep going. Another missing cell bot. I wonder what scared them all out of their sockets. Let's do a search.
Alright, let's go look for that other little robot buddy to get him back into her socket.
Take a look around.
An old X to have him search an area. Look at that.
Don't worry. We won't hurt you.
There we go. He was buried for some reason. Come on. Back to your socket.
There. Feel better? I know, I hear it too. Power source must be close. Watch out, caterpillars.
And in this game, the shooting is not...
Corebots are much more intelligent than Corbites, but we designed them both to be absolutely loyal and highly protective of humans.
Alright, the shooting...
I'm getting some really weird readings from that power source.
Okay.
I wonder if it's affecting the other bots somehow.
The shooting in this game is not really the focus. It's more about making sure you're in the right position while you're shooting. Therefore, this game has a pretty generous auto-aim system. It's all about platforming while shooting, dodging while shooting, being aware of your surroundings while shooting. Ooh, we can go up here, okay. That makes more sense.
Come on, Mac. The power source is this way.
Just sort of snap between targets using the right analog stick while you're holding the left trigger. Alright.
My extractor should work on this door, just like before.
And use the right click the right analog stick to engage the extractor.
That thing has shields. Maybe my charge shot can knock them out.
You hold down the right bumper to initiate a charge shot. Break their shields. the lower you get their health, the more likely you are to actually extract their cores. Which I believe does serve as an upgrade mechanic. An upgrade resource, excuse me.
Up there! Look! The power source. It's some kind of core. If we get closer to it, I bet I can grab it with my extractor.
We shall see. Here's the question, how do we get close to it? So you have to get up there? Oh, alright. This is just a cutscene.
Ow! Dang it!
Okay, what do we got here? A giant spider.
I guess we'll have to do this the hard way.
Now these things you can't actually kill outright. You have to extract their cores, because that's the MacGuffin that we're trying to get a lot of. The prismatic core. We're on fire, and we need to hit B to distinguish. I can't remember if this game has regenerating health or not. I think it does, but I'm not sure. There we go. Just takes a little bit to actually kick in. You can collect items to increase your health bar, but there isn't. I don't believe there's any healing items in the actual healing items. I played this game a lot when it came out in late 2016. I can try to extract it. He's not all that low, so he will probably not be successful. There we
It's
go.
healing itself. The only way we're gonna beat it is to pull out the core. Rush in.
Notice how it keeps changing color? That becomes much more important once we unlock the ability to switch our own weapon's color. Looks like we got it.
Gotcha.
And that is a prismatic core. That's what we're trying to get more of.
This is the power source we've been tracking? I've never seen a core like this before. Have you, Mac? All the colors are mixed together. Oh, come here, boy. I see that leg.
Oh, doggy.
Doesn't look too bad, but I won't be able to fix it here. Can you make it back to the crawler? Okay. Let's go home.
All right, Mac. We got what we came for. Let's head back to the crawler.
I assume we go through here. It's a triple door of some kind.
Guess the core was linked to the local security system.
We hit the back button to take a look at the map. Objective is over there. This right here serves as some
there's
form
our
of
crawler.
currency.
Home sweet home.
Or actually not currency, but it's a part that you use to upgrade your stuff. There's a lot of mechanics I'm having difficulty remembering. I do know that you have both different frames and different cores that you can upgrade. More of those guys, huh? For different cores and different frames. And switch between them on the fly, or at least two of them. use a waggle motion to get out of that. It's much easier to extract the core out of one of these things when there's another one shooting you. Maybe that's obvious, or maybe it's not. I don't know, but it is true. As taking damage interrupts your extraction process. Another blue mechanical spider. It's interesting that they have the charge shot as a separate button from the regular shot button. You think that you just hold down the trigger to charge it, but no. Holding down the trigger just keeps shooting.
The Mark 8, mobile maintenance habitat. Double thick hull and redundant systems throughout. We built them to last. Of course, no one thought they'd need to last this long.
Let's get inside and see if this core will turn the power back on. Hope this works.
All right.
Weird. Doesn't look like it lost any energy at all.
Hey, kiddo. If you get this message before you go to sleep, sweet dreams. If not, wake up already. It's been 200 years. Listen, I just wanted to tell you I've got a little more work to do here. But they're holding a space for me on the next evacuation fleet. And I'll meet you on Far Eden, just like I promised. Don't worry, Joel. Everything's going according to plan.
I know, Mac. Nothing is going according to plan.
Apparently something went wrong.
I mean, look. Pylon in the next sector is offline. Now that we've got power, we can unlock the gate, go over there, and check it out. This report says the pylon's been offline for 96 years? So why didn't we wake up right when the problem started? We're the closest maintenance team, right? What happened, Dad? Where are you? And where's everybody else? Come on, Mac. I'll get you fixed up. And we both need to fix that pylon.
Come on over to the workbench, Mac.
This is where you engage with the upgrade mechanic. Alright. At the different types of frames. There are 5 in this game, as was shown on the box, but in my playthrough there was only 4 of them. This game was upgraded to the definitive edition either late last year or earlier this year to include the 5th frame, and it was a free upgrade, I believe. And I believe it was later upgraded to be later patched for the Xbox One X support as well.
Nice!
Now we go to the core bots and equip the new thing that we got here. Alright. So we need to collect blueprints and materials.
Okay, Mac. Ready to help me fix that terraforming pylon?
Okay, so I think the cores we've been extracting from these enemies are used to upgrade the core, and these parts upgrade the frames. I think that's what's going on here. And we can deposit stuff in our crawler here, as I do believe there's a limited amount of stuff you can carry. It's been a little while since I played this game, so I'm not going to remember everything.
The pylon is in the next sector, Mac. Let's get going.
Now, I remember in the lead up to this game's release it getting a lot of comparison to Horizon Zero Dawn due to a few reasons. It's setting in a post-apocalyptic landscape and the fact that you're fighting giant mechanical beasts. And they're both somewhat open-world nature, so though Horizon Zero Dawn is much more of an open-world game, this is more of an overworld game. But really, they're not similar to each other at all, especially in terms of quality. Horizon Zero Dawn was one of the best games that came out last year. And this game is a good game, but it's definitely not on that same level. I would just disagree with like people who gave it really bad reviews, because it's actually an enjoyable game. I think one of the reasons why it was so harshly criticized is because it had a lot of bugs in it, which, to be perfectly honest, I never really encountered. One of those your mileage may vary type situations. I think I may have had one significant bug, and even that I'm not sure of. Right? But yeah, this game is basically like a cross between a 3D Zelda game with its overworld and dungeon design, and like a 3D Mega Man game with its basic combat system. To surprise, the creator of Mega Man game would make another game that's kind of like Mega Man. There we go. Now, let me see here. Tomorrow, Saturday, after I get home from work.
We'll have to initiate the manual override since our hunk of junk is buried in the sand.
Great. Tomorrow, Saturday, after I get home from work, what I think I'll do another old Call of Duty multiplayer stream. Let's interact with this and see what happens. And I think I'll focus on Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Advanced Warfare, and Ghost, or Ghost and Advanced Warfare. Should have plenty of time tomorrow to go through at least most of those games. And I'll start that shortly after I get home, which I'm not entirely sure when that's going to be.
Far Eden was the closest planet with an Earth-like atmosphere. It wasn't perfect, but it sure had potential.
Clearly something bad happened on Earth. This isn't and we're part of the advanced scouting team to make sure the new world that humanity is going to is habitable. Clearly something went wrong on both ends. both us, with us, and the team that's supposed to,
Stay alert,
and
Mac.
the
The core
group of
bots in
people
this
that's
sector
supposed to
look
follow
corrupted,
us.
too.
They were collecting parts. Now we have a cutscene.
The pylon. It's totally grounded. I know, Mac. Let's get to the pylon before that storm hits.
The dog is sort of functioning like R2-D2, where it's beeping and booping at you in a language that your character can understand, but obviously you can't, unless you have subtitles turned on. In that case, it's actually telling you what it's saying. Which would be interesting if they did that in the Star Wars movies. Let's see here. I guess we sort of do this, this, and then dash.
That structure is the pylon's control center. Or what's left of it, anyway.
Alright. Now, I also intend on doing some sort of Christmas stream on Tuesday. I'm not sure what or when, but I'm thinking of doing some more online multiplayer streaming. Perhaps with Black Ops 4, perhaps with Titanfall 2, perhaps with something else. I'm not sure. I just want to give you a heads up when I get back from visiting family downriver. I'll be hopping on the internet to do some streaming. Got some red wolf hunting things here. They're level 2 and level 3. They're tougher. I targeted the wrong thing. There we go. Got one left. The lower the health you...
Someone must have modified the frames. But why?
The lower you get their health, the easier it becomes to extract their cores. Should be kind of obvious, but you never know. With me, even obvious things are difficult to grasp.
Are those canine frames? They don't look like any I've ever seen.
They look more like wolves and less like dogs.
Don't mind if I do.
You find caches of stuff.
Over here.
But not everything is like that, though. Right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of this game. What do we got here?
This is Dr. Julius Roba, Chief Scientist in Far Eden Project. Today is April 17, 2053. First day of my first shift on the surface of the planet. All the other teams landed safely and are sleeping in their crawlers. Forecasts predict a break in the storms a few days from now, so I should be able to receive transmissions from Mandate Mission Control. Of course, they'll be decades old due to the distance between Earth and Far Eden, but I'll take any news I can get. In the meantime, I have plenty to do. First, see how many of the Corebot advanced units are operational. Mankind has a whole new world to build, and we can't do it on our own.
Alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of this and go to my later save. See if that's something I can do easily. Yes, it is. Thankfully, I did checkpoint recently, so it's not going to be too impactful for me. Also, I doubt that I'm going to play through this whole game again. Right. As you can see, I have a lot more prismatic cores in this game. 55 as opposed to 1. And I also have a lot more robots to play with.
So, this was one of your hideouts during the revolution. Where's the tank? Hidden from Victor, huh? Okay, down we go.
Alright. Now what we can do with this guy is we
What's
can
up,
actually
pilot?
use him to fast travel to other areas. This will give you an idea as to the size of the world, of the overworld that we have. This right here is basically the last level. It has different requirements for level and prismatic cores. So I think that's the last level, right? Yeah. I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a world. Got these different areas that are connected to each other via via doorways, basically. Let's go to I don't know if I've ever been to that area. Interesting. There's no icons on it. Looking for spots I can fast travel to. I fast travel to here? I cannot. Let's fast travel to here then. So basically, when you're jumping, you get one dash and one double jump, unless you jump through a specialized gate, which will reactivate or recharge your boosters, which will give you another dash and another jump. And there are definitely some platforming puzzles to get through utilizing that fact.
Sandstorms on Earth are nothing compared to the ones on Farm. On this planet, storms can rage for days, move huge quantities of sand, and completely alter the terrain.
Interesting, it's treating it like I've never played this area before, and even though it's on a save, it clearly has. Maybe it has something to do with the update. In any case, here's my dog. As you can see, it looks very different. It's also much more powerful. But if we hit left bumper, we get another robot. This is a spider robot. It's useful for platforming, actually, as there are certain rails that it can climb along and carry you with it. Now, if you take a look, here is something that can be activated by a different robot. Why don't we go to here and change out our bots? It's the other thing we can do. Select crew. Now there are basically 3 cores, and you have 2 of them selected at any time. But you can also put your core into a different frame. So there's 5 frames, 3 cores. It's a little complicated, but you get used to it eventually. I believe you can select, change out your core in a different menu here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to Mac and Duncan. Now we see this guy. He's gonna activate this thing.
Duncan, over here. Duncan, take it out.
I'm not entirely sure what that did. It didn't seem to do nothing actually, but still. That's an example of a frame related thing that you need. One of the reasons why you want to keep easy access to one type of frame or another. Now this guy, as you already saw, can dig and find stuff. Now generally, you just sort of hold X and it'll search in an area. But actually, it's pretty easy to tell if there's a buried item nearby. In fact, you can tell right here. This little marking, that tells you that there's a buried item there. So let's hold X.
Begin.
You should find that quickly. There we go. A dig site. It actually took me way too long to figure out that dig sites are always under those markers. Now, let's take a look at the color affinity thing. It's normally set to white. We've set it to red by hitting right, blue by hitting left on the D-pad, and yellow by hitting up. These enemies are yellow, so we want to switch it to yellow so they'll take more damage. These are much higher enemies than what we were dealing with before, but we are even more powerful than that. These enemies appear to be blue, so let's hit left. Let's see what our dog can do.
Max, charge!
Alright, now let's switch over to the big guy. Now this is much more useful for general combat, as you can do a lot of damage. Yeah, he just took that thing out on its own. Lethal attack is an area of effect attack, and yeah, as you can see, it does a lot of damage as well. More of these wolves appeared out of nowhere. And now we're getting surrounded. And now we're dead. Even though you're powerful, you can still get surrounded and overpowered easily if you're not careful. If you're careless, like I was. This is a nice looking game. Look at that skybox. Planet up there in rings. Some nice clouds. there's those wolves again.
Give him a shot.
Ah, they disappeared. Alright. I guess when you go outside of whatever area they operate in, they just sort of disappear. Ah. This thing stole my dog, and now I'm dead. I was wondering why I wasn't coming to my rescue there.
I'm out.
And now I'm stuck. It's not exactly easy to escape from those situations. I guess I'm not as strong as I thought. Well, I'm pretty sure there's more upgrading I could do to both my robots and just gathering more health bar extensions as well. I go back to that fast travel point to switch to the other robot that I have after I find out what's under here. That is actually currency. Can't remember what currency buys in this game, but it might be part of the upgrading process. I'm not sure. Like I continue to say, it's been a while since I played through this game.
Let's do this, Violet.
Select crew. Mac and Seth. Alright, now you see Mac, and this is Seth. A giant spidery looking guy. I think I already showed this one. Yeah, my attention span is not, or my memory's not that great. Let's do the core swapping thing. As you can see, there's a spot for a fifth one, but I don't have that. There's actually more than that, but I also have this flying guy. And this guy you can actually use
Mac, you got me.
to sort of hover across or glide across a long distance. Obviously, the higher up you go from, the more effective it's going to be. It's like we got a dust storm coming. When you land on the ground, your double jump and dash recharges, so you can actually just continuously dash like that as long as you're on the ground. I can't remember how dust storms adversely affect you. I just assume it affects you badly in some way. We got one of these guys.
Shoot.
Shoots rockets. This changes to purple, which can be damaged from either red or blue. Much easier to deal with when there's only one of them. Look at that. It gives me a purple core. So far the storm only seems to be affecting visibility. Not taking any health damage.
Come here, buddy. Over here, Mac. Come on, Mac. To me.
Alright, there we go. So yeah, this is ReCore. It's an interesting game. It does have its flaws, but I think it's still better than what a lot of critics gave it credit for. I'm going to call it a short video this week. I'm actually running out of time before I have to head to work. So yeah, with that being the case, thank you for watching. I enjoy anyone who takes time out of their day to watch my stuff. And I do a retro stream with the open source scan converter on Monday night, generally about 8 o'clock. A modern stream, typically with a HDMI equipped console. Well, that's the idea anyway. On Wednesday night, typically when I get home from work or shortly after, ideally at about 11 o'clock, but lately it's been later than that. And I do a 4K and or HDR sample video that I record and upload on Friday, with occasional multiplayer streams on Tuesday and or Saturday night. And until next time, take it easy.